Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So excited for you to be here today because today's video is going to be fantastic. Reed and I just got married and we are going up to the North Shore of Minnesota for our little mini moon getaway that we decided to do after our wedding. I have to be completely honest with you, the video has already been filmed and I completely forgot to film an intro, and so I wanted to tell you guys what I'm going to be reading and kind of the plans. So first of all, I want to just tell you the wedding was absolutely fantastic. It was legitimately the best day of my life. Like, I'm not even kidding you. It was outstanding. All of the planning was worth it, and as stressful as all of that planning and stuff was, the day was honestly the best day of our entire lives. I'm never going to forget it. I was probably the happiest I have ever been in my whole life, just to see all of our family and friends that we've known for so long, like in the same room. It was absolutely mind-blowing, all of the parts of our life coming together in one, and I just can't even tell you how incredible it was. I wish I could just tell you all and like explain all of my feelings and everything like that, but we would be here for literally forever because it was truly the most magical day. I have some pictures on my Instagram if you are interested. Thank you all for being on the journey up until the wedding, because I know I talked about it a lot on here. But in today's video, we are going to be going up to the North Shore of Minnesota for the mini moon. It is a beautiful, beautiful time of year up in northern Minnesota. And the book that I am going to be reading on the North Shore is Manacled by Senlin Yu. Yes, we are still reading this book. This is happening. We're still going strong on Manacled. Let me quick explain to you what this book is about, and then we're gonna hop up to the North Shore. So Manacled is a Draco and Hermione fan fiction. Yes, I am reading this on my honeymoon because I've been reading it for 2.5 months, okay? Manacled is a Draco and Hermione fan fiction. It is kind of like a Handmaid's Tale type of situation where Hermione is essentially assigned to be Draco's handmaid. Very traumatic, lots of trigger warnings. The whole premises of the book is if Voldemort had won the war and kind of the aftermath of that. And the storyline starts at the end of the 5th book. 6th and 7th books did not happen. So that's where the story picks up. It is a really dark, bleak story all about Hermione and like a lot of the wizard or the witches in the magical world being extremely oppressed and being used by Voldemort and just all these terrible things. The Death Eaters are running rampant all over Europe, and you are basically put in this situation and trying to figure out, how did this whole thing happen? There are a bunch of flashbacks that happen throughout the book, so you kind of do get an understanding of where this is going and how did they get into this situation. But it's very dark, very bleak, and I am continuing to read it still. But without further ado, let's just get into the mini moon. I am so excited, and I will see you guys on the North Shore. Bye. Hello everyone, welcome to Tuesday. We did nothing other than sit by the fire last night. I played Animal Crossing and I read my book, and Reed read his book, and we just sat by the fire, listened to the lake, had some nice little music on. It was seriously so relaxing and so nice. Like, we literally slept for like 11 hours on Sunday night, and then I think we slept another like 9 hours last night. We're just like so exhausted. I swear I didn't sleep for like 3 days, and then I also didn't eat food for like 3 days because I was so nervous and my stomach was in a knot. So now I am replenishing and refueling my body and refueling my energy, and I feel great. And we are going to have a really fun day today. Woke up this morning just drinking some coffee coffee and I'm reading Manacled. I am currently at like 59% of the book. I can't put it down. It is so freaking good. And like the way that this author has made me be really annoyed at Ron and Harry, it's just kind of funny how my perspective has changed. But in not regards, I mean, I'm keeping like the original, you know, series separate from this. This is a totally different storyline, totally different writing style. It literally is just using the same kind of characters. So yeah, I'm really intrigued by this book. I don't know if this book necessarily fits the vibes. I feel like The Night Circus would honestly fit the vibes a lot better, but I can't stop reading the plot for Manacled. So, and Reed is reading the newest Red Rising, A Lightbringer. What's quick review? Nice and gory. Cool. Plans for the day is we're gonna go on a hike this morning and then we might drive like 30 minutes more up the shoreline. We'll maybe go out to dinner tonight and then again, just like really taking it easy. No stress, no timeline on anything, just chill vibes, doing what we want. It looks like it's gonna be a beautiful day outside. There's literally not a cloud in the sky and we're just like looking out over the lake right now and it's absolutely stunning. So I was watching the sunrise this morning, like right up over the horizon of the lake. It's beautiful up here. I love the North Shore. Okay, we're gonna go on a hike and enjoy the B-roll. Bye. Hey, what's up? It is about 3 o'clock in the afternoon and we had a really nice morning. We went and did a little hike, had some stunning views as you saw in the B-roll. Absolutely gorgeous. We've done that hike before and it is just so beautiful. We're like right a little bit past peak fall colors right now, so there were some beautiful yellows and stuff like that, but most of the red had kind of gone away, but it was so gorgeous. And there's literally no one up here because it's during the weekday, which is awesome because every time we always come up here on a weekend and there's like so many people here, but it's been lovely. So came back from our little hike, ate some lunch. We've been reading our books for the last like 2 hours, kind of just enjoying the outside. I meditated, it was very nice. And now we are going to go to a golf course. Reed's gonna play 9 holes and I'm gonna sit in the cart and read my book. As you can tell, we really planned nothing for this honeymoon other than reading our books. And as 2 people who love to read, this is our personal paradise, okay? We absolutely love this Airbnb though. It is just so quaint and so cozy. It's literally like 400 square feet. And it's like the just coziest, cutest little thing ever. After we play 9 holes, we're probably gonna go up about 30 minutes north, eat dinner there, and then come back and probably read our book some more. So I'm at about just over 60% right now, and things are getting spicy between Draco and Hermione. So here for it. Here for it. Compared to what I felt in the beginning to Draco up until now, if you've watched my other vlogs regarding Manacled on this book, I said I could never forgive Draco for what he's done. And I still feel like I can stand by that statement. I just don't know how the book's gonna wrap up. I'm really wondering how it's all gonna come together in the end, because right now I'm still not okay with what happened in the beginning. But I'm really loving this character, this journey that I've been on with these two characters since then. And in terms of star ratings, I know you're all wondering. No, you're probably not. Just giving vibes of star rating feels, I'm feeling a 4. I'm feeling a 4. I feel like, I don't know what's missing for me to give it a 5, because plot is so good. Like, I feel like there's so much trauma happening in the book, but I almost feel like a teeny tiny bit of a disconnect with the trauma that's happening. Like, if I think back to the most traumatic book I've ever read, which is A Little Life, the trauma was so intense, but I felt so connected to the characters, so immensely connected to the characters that I was feeling the pain of the trauma that they were going through. And I'm not necessarily feeling that immense bond with the characters right now, even though even though this has been established from another series. Feels like a different book to me. This does not feel like part of the Harry Potter series. It feels like a completely different book, except we're just using the same characters. But I do feel there's like a slight disconnect emotionally with the amount of trauma that has happened to these characters. I don't even know how to explain it, but there's just something missing that when I think about A Little Life, whereas I think about this, there is something that made me so bonded to all 4 of those characters in the book. But there's something that's missing here. So don't know how to explain it into words, but I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down. So I'm going to continue reading it though. And when I say it's a 4-star, a 4-star is genuinely a great rating. Okay. I feel like sometimes people can get bogged down in the star ratings of like, unless it's a 5-star, if someone gives us a 5-star, I don't want to even think about it, reading it or whatever. But no, this is genuinely incredible, and I'm so happy I'm reading it. There's just a little teeny something that's missing from it emotionally for me to give it a 5-star, if that makes sense. And maybe I'll change my mind by the end of the book. I'm only 60% in, so who knows? But I will get back to you. We're gonna go, Reed's gonna go play some golf, and I'm just gonna go read. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Good morning. Hi. It is Wednesday. Don't know what the date specifically. My calendar year went right up until we planned our wedding, and then what is even going on from here on out? I'm reading Manacled currently. I'm at like 63%, I think. 64%. We're cruising. We're cruising with this book. It's kind of funny because now we're getting more into the relationship aspect of this book. They have finally connected, and we all knew this was going to happen, right? Because that's a Hermione fan fiction, so I'm not spoiling anything. Like, we knew at some point these two characters were gonna come together. And it's funny because I'm like living in this cute, cozy little condo situation, looking out at the lake. It's like nice and cozy, and I'm just reading straight smut. I mean, that's where I'm at. It's actually pretty good, what I will tell you. But it's like, I definitely feel like I should be reading The Night Circus because this feels more the vibe of what we are currently going at right now. And it's funny because Reed is currently reading that Lightbringer, or like the newest Red Rising release, and it's very gory as well. So we are just reading totally opposite what our vibe is currently. Yeah, we decided to just have like a really lazy, chill morning. We're literally just like having a fire, listening to the lake, listening to a nice little ASMR jazz cafe, eating breakfast. It's about like 10:30 in the morning right now, and we're just having a nice, cute, cozy little morning. Our plans for today are going to go and do like a really mini hike. We're not doing anything extravagant by any means. We're just gonna go and like look at a waterfall, go out to dinner. Last night we ended up coming back here after dinner. My dinner did not settle well with me, unfortunately. So we came back and we watched the newest Netflix like limited horror series. They usually do a series every year. First they started with Haunting of Hill House. Now they're doing Haunting of Bly Manor. And then this year they're doing The Fall of the Usher Family or something along those lines. And it's so good. We binge watched like 3 episodes last night and it was so good. Did I have scary dreams? Maybe. The thing I really like about those Netflix shows is that it's scary without being like straight horror all the time. Like there are like a few little flash moments, or you'll see someone standing in the background that you're like, that's creepy AF. But it's like not overwhelmingly scary where you're to the point of like straight up having nightmares. Like I feel like if I wasn't just a scaredy cat, I probably wouldn't have had bad dreams last night. But my dreams weren't even like bad too. It's like I get scared of the thought of having bad dreams. Does that make sense? So yeah, that was really great last night. And then we're probably gonna maybe watch more of it tonight. And it's a little bit more overcast today, but still pretty nice out, which is great. Yeah, just continuing to read my Harry Potter fan fiction and live my most cozy dreams. And yeah, I think we're gonna have a really nice day. It's just literally, we are just living a cozy life. Like we don't want to have any plans. We don't want to be beholden to any time schedule. That was our life for the last like 8 months, and now truly just relaxing, just taking in the vibes, you know? Hope you're enjoying the vlog, and I will see you guys in the next little check-in. Bye. Hi. We literally spent the entire morning just reading by the fire. We had this fire going for a little while. I set up like a little cozy setup, and then we just read our books literally all morning. It's 1 o'clock right now, and we've been reading for like 3 or 4 hours. It's truly been marvelous. Now we're gonna go out and do something. We're gonna go on a little hike, head up north for dinner tonight. But I can guarantee you we're probably gonna keep reading our books some more too. So got another, I think, 5 or 6% into Manacled. I'm on like 70% right now. It's so different from the original series. Like I don't want to compare it at all because it's so different. The writing is so different. The characters are different. Like it's literally a different book, but also at the same time, feels like I'm reading 2 separate books within the same book. It starts off in the beginning and then there's a flashback, and there's flashbacks for like 50% of the book. I can't tear my eyes away from the pages. I really can't. And that's the best way I can describe it to you. Not a 5-star for me, but at the same time, I am just enraptured into this book and I can't take my eyes off it. I also want to say something. Like, I enjoy a fantasy romance and I enjoy a romance at some points, but this feels like a different level of romance than what I have read before in the past. Like, I feel like the romances I've read before, like The Hating Game, like Red, White, and Royal Blue, they seem like quite tame to some of the romances I could be reading. Yeah, I've read like a lot of contemporary romance before, and same with like fantasy romance. I've read like ACOTAR and that kind of stuff. Like, the romance in this feels like a different level. It feels like really possessive, which is a new thing to read about for me. And I'm just experiencing a new side to a romance reader. The Hermione romance is very intense, and I'm sure you could even go even more intense than what I'm reading right now, but it's a whole new world. It is a whole new world for this little brain. There's some points where it's like really possessive, and I'm like, dude, lay off. I can't. And I'm sure that's like, people love that, or they think it's like really intriguing and like hot and whatever, but like, I'm kind of like, you know, this vlog, the content of what I'm reading compared to what you are witnessing and experiencing in this cozy environment, it's just so two polar opposites. But I'm not gonna rectify that. You know, I am so deep into this fan fiction right now, and I need to finish this book. I literally have 30% left, and I feel like I'm probably gonna finish it within the next few days because I'm just like, can't stop reading it. When I started reading this book back in August, yes, I've been reading this book for a full 2 months. I knew this was how my reading experience was meant to be with this book, but I genuinely didn't have the time to commit to it. This book is a book that you can totally read within a time span of a week or so, or a few days. But girls had no time until this moment. So yeah, we're gonna go and hike, and then just like, I don't know, just no pressure, no plans. It's gonna be good. I'm probably gonna come back, play a little Animal Crossing. Maybe we'll have another fire and watch some more of that show. So update you guys later. Peace, bye. Good morning, one. Good morning, all. Hi, it is Thursday. Did you like that? I just woke up like 10 minutes ago. It's like 9 a.m. It's been so nice to just like sit here, relax. It's currently raining outside, which just like adds to the vibe, and it's perfect. Unfortunately, today is our last day here and we're leaving at noon. Our checkout's at noon, but it's really been the best time ever. Yesterday, we literally read our books till 1 p.m. in the afternoon. We went out, we did a hike, and then we went up to a town that's like 30 minutes north of here. We went to a bookstore, which you saw, Drury Lane Books, which was so cute. It was like this tiny little house right on Lake Superior, and you could just like hear the waves crashing in, and it was just this quaint little tiny little house. It was arguably one of the cutest bookstores I've ever been to. It was adorable. Loved it. Then we went to a brewery afterwards, and it was so fun because like I got a flight of beer because I love craft beer. It's like one of my favorite things. And we just sat and read our books. And you know what? Maybe there were some people who were like, they're just reading in a brewery. And yeah, we were. We're both to the point in our books where it's like we don't want to put them down and no one can peel us away. Okay. So I'm about like 70, I think I'm like 73% into manacled. Okay, I want to tell you my thoughts because I'm just starting to have more and more issues with the book as I've continued to read it. I'm going to finish this book. I'm too far in to not finish this book. I would not even DNF it if I wanted to. I'm going to finish it. I want to know what happens. I'm really intrigued as to the storyline that's going on. With that being said, I do have a few issues with it. Number one, I don't think it has to be this long. I feel like I have read probably 600 pages and I don't feel I am anywhere further into the plot than I was 300 pages ago. I feel like a lot of it has been quite repetitive and it's just being dragged out just to be dragged out. I was chatting about it with Reed yesterday, and you know, it's interesting to compare, okay, this book is probably 800 pages. What someone else, Brandon Sanderson, can do in 800 pages. It's just, it feels like I have just been kind of dragged along for quite a long time. So that's my first thing with it. Number two, I feel like the characters are kind of one-dimensional. I don't feel like the events that have been happening to them would reasonably match with the choices and decisions that they're making. And they really feel like characters to me. They don't feel like they could plausibly, like, it really doesn't feel like they could be a human making these decisions. Does that make sense? It just feels like they're really one-dimensional, and it just doesn't feel like there's a lot of depth to each of them. Like, each of them kind of have their like one trait that they're like sticking to and keeping to. But like, I go back to A Little Life again. I think about the characters in that book and the characters in this book, completely different. The characters in A Little Life were just like so faceted and they really felt like humans. Like they really, really genuinely did. And these are more like, I am reading a story and these are the characters in the story. Does that make sense to you? It just doesn't really feel plausible and real. It just doesn't feel like the decisions that people are making are reasonable decisions that a human would make in the situations that they are put in. Does that make sense? Okay. And number three, the plot points are getting reused from the original series. Like, for example, do you guys remember, this is like a not important part of this book at all, but I noticed it and I was just like, okay, get a new idea. You know, you remember when Harry and the Order have to like go fly somewhere and they all take a polyjuice potion to like go fly so the Death Eaters are confused as to which is the real Harry? Reed did the same exact thing in this book. And there's been a few other things where it's like they just basically took something from the plot of the original series and put it into this one. And I'm kind of just like, get a new idea. You know, get a new idea. I don't want to read the same thing. It just doesn't feel new to me at all. But the one thing that I will say is going for this book, the romance is really strong. Big fantasy romance vibes, okay? Big romance plot. And I know that that's what the point of the book was, is for this romance plot, but it just feels like it's been a lot of trauma, a lot of bleak days, a lot of like really hard times. And you know, to go off of that, I think you really have to have like depth to a lot of your characters, and that's just not happening. It's just like bad things are happening and that's pretty much it. And these characters are like not reacting in a way that seems reasonable for this bad stuff to happen to them. I don't know. I could go on, but I'm just kind of like annoyed at this point, and I feel like my rating went from like a heavy 4.5 star, and now it went to a 4 star, and now it's starting to go down to a 3.5 to 3 stars. That is my thoughts on this book. Even though that being said, I'm still gonna finish it and I'm still gonna read it. I don't regret that I read it by any means, but I just feel like I only read so many books a year, right? Like I only read what, 20 to 30 books a year? Yeah, so reader, like I said. But if I'm gonna sit down with an 800-page book, I want it to like hit me. I want it to get me somewhere. I want it to feel moved from that book. And I just feel like I've kind of read 600 pages just to read 600 pages of kind of a nothing. And I don't feel like I'm coming away from this book with any kind of strong feeling towards it. This is no dig on people who enjoy this book. It really is not. It's just my personal feelings of it. Like I said, I'm going to be finishing the book. I have enjoyed most of the book. I'm just like starting to pick up on different things that are kind of annoying to me. So yeah, that's where we're at. So it's like 10 o'clock right now. We have another 2 hours before we have to leave, and we're probably just gonna eat breakfast, read our books for like an hour or so, and then we'll head out. You know, originally we were thinking about stopping at a few state parks on the way down. We'll see. We'll see where the drive takes us, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Peace and love. Quick update, I'm at 73% in manacled, and guys, I'm just keeps going downhill. It keeps going downhill, and sorry the sun is in my eyes, but I just couldn't wait to say this update because I'm so annoyed. Their logic is stupid. Stupid. Everyone's just like making really dumb decisions and not thinking anything through, and it's just like, this is not how anyone would process any of these things that are happening to them. My rating's going down. It's just keeping to go down. Also, the book is split into like the portion where it's like present day, and then there's 37 chapters of flashbacks, aka like 500 pages of flashbacks, and then it's going back to present day again. And I'm at the part where I'm just about to switch back to present day, and the author has a note in there. I suggest you go back and reread all of the beginning chapters of the book so you understand what's about to happen in the last part of the chapter. Like, no, I'm not gonna read. I'm not gonna go back and reread 300 or 400 pages or 300 pages from the beginning of the book. Like, I shouldn't have to do that to understand the next part of the book. I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed. Maybe I should just stick to published authors. I think this is on me. I think this is a choice on me as to why I'm not enjoying this book as much as I thought I would. Okay, I guess I'm gonna keep reading because I'm already 75% into it. I'm already too far gone to stop now, you know? But I'm telling you, it's sitting at a solid 3. It's a solid 3. Could we go down from there? I've enjoyed the romance a ton. I gotta say that. It's been a great romance plot. But the logic behind the non-romance plot, it's just very inconsistent and really like does not match with the characters from the book, the original series. Like, maybe this is just what fan fiction is. Who knows? Okay, I'm gonna keep reading. We're almost home. Hey everyone, welcome me back to this video. It's been about a week since we got back from our mini move, and I kind of wanted to do just a little bit of a final thoughts slash wrap up of Manacled because I needed to finish this book. The cozy weekend we had up north was like absolutely incredible. Honestly, such a great thing to do for after our wedding. We literally just read our books. It was such a vibe. I would have not wanted anything more than to just be able to relax and do that. And we're really excited to like fully take our honeymoon next year. But before I end this video, I absolutely have to give my final thoughts on Manacled because I didn't want to go another week reading this book. After I got home, I was so close to being done with the book, and I'm just like, I just have to finish it and get my thoughts in this video so I can just wrap a bow on this and be done. I just need to be done with Manacled. Okay, it's been going on for way too long. I need to move on. Final thoughts. I finished the book this morning. I have to be completely honest with you. I did not read the epilogue. I finished the book and I am like, check, I'm done. I'm not reading the rest of it. I just don't even care at this point anymore. I have been reading this book for way too long. And I feel like I started off so hot with this book. I was so excited. I was so into it. I was reading it just like voraciously. And then like life got in the way. I continued to read it. Things kept dragging on for a really long time. I felt like I was moving nowhere in the plot. Nothing was getting resolved. Like I just felt like the book was way too long. I honestly feel like this book could have been 400 or 500 pages and you would have gotten the same message across. I didn't really love how the book wrapped up. I didn't really care about the ending. I was just like so done at the end of this book. I honestly don't know if it's just because I was reading it for a really long amount of time, but like literally I was reading it this morning and I'm like, I'm not even paying attention to the audiobook. I just don't even care at this point, like at all. I feel like it's unfortunate because I was so into this book when I first started off. But even regardless of the fact that this book took me literally 2.5 months to read and I was just so done by the end of it, I did have some issues with how things got resolved. I feel like all of the trigger warnings, the trauma, everything that started off at the beginning of this book that really gave that like shock factor to it, which is why I was like, what the F is going on? And I had to figure out what was happening and couldn't stop reading. I feel like the way that stuff got resolved, all of that like Handmaid's Tale situation stuff and like the justification for it all was not good enough for me. I just feel like it was honestly a shock factor just to have a shock factor. I feel like you could have written the same book without all of that stuff. Like I probably would have still felt the same sentiment. I don't think you needed all of that like actually traumatic reading stuff in order to have the same message and the same like feelings toward the book. I don't know. There was just like a lot of sexual assault, all that kind of stuff. And I really don't think that stuff had to happen in order to be able to have the same storyline. So that really put a damper on it, really kind of turned me off to the book in general. I think I'm only honestly gonna give this book a 3 stars. I feel like I do have to consider how into it I was at first and how at some points pacing was great, at other points pacing was super slow and I was like bored. There was just a really long time of the book where I just felt like we were continuing to spin our wheels and like nothing was happening. I feel like it was a roller coaster. We were like, can't stop reading, oh my God, and then like hit a little plateau and then I was like, I don't really care anymore. I don't really care anymore. I don't know. Those are my overall thoughts. Like I've never read a fan fiction before, so maybe I have to give it justification in that sense, considering it was like not going through like publisher or anything like that. I would give another fan fiction a try, and I did like the Draco Hermione trope a lot. I just think that like the plot structure of this book, the concept behind this book, I think it could have worked, but I just think that the book had a lot of issues. Like it was just way too long and like, yeah, way too much trauma and like trigger warnings and stuff and like just really toxic, traumatic bonding behavior was going on, and I was really turned off by all of that. But I would read another fan fiction. I would read another Draco and Hermione fan fiction because I did love that relationship aspect of it. I don't know. I just think that book went on for way too long, and I think that that's all I'm trying to tell you. I'm glad that I am finally done with it. I am glad I read it. I don't regret reading it. I just wish I hadn't been reading it for the past like 2.5 months. You know what I mean? So I guess those are my final thoughts. Maybe if you want to read a Draco and Hermione fan fiction, I don't know if I'd start off with that one. Gonna be honest with you. If I could go back and do it again, and I would probably read Remain Nameless, which I haven't read yet, but I think that one's more of like a focus on mental health type of stuff rather than like actually sexually assault and like super traumatic things. So maybe I would stick with a different one for your first Draco and Hermione fanfiction, or if you're interested in that specific trope, or a different fan fiction in general. I'm just excited to be back to published reading, like published book reading. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was honestly just such a needed vacation for us. I loved this trip, and I'm so glad we ended up doing this and just being able to truly relax, not think about a thing, read our books, enjoy the fall weather, enjoy the cozy vibes. It was perfect. I just didn't pick the right book to fit those vibes, you know? I wanted to get done with that book so bad, and I didn't care if I was reading it over my mini moon. It's fine though. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. If you made it this far into the video, leave a campfire emoji down in the comments, or a fall leaf emoji or something along those lines, because it's fall, we're loving these vibes, and let's continue these vibes into the next weeks. Love you guys. Have a good day. Peace and love, babies. Bye.